I've really enjoyed working with classical music scores in the past, but I've always kind of been thinking, oh, I'd love it if one day I could make a movie that Ed and Tom did the music for. When I saw this script, I thought, OK, here we go. And enter the Chemical Brothers.
You know, usually we're in the studio and it's kind of, we are the end point. You know, our decision is, and what we want to do is everything about making our music. And it was really interesting to be in this position where it was a collaborative thing. You know, it was Joe would, you know, he'd have very strong opinions about things, and we would have ideas, and it would be, you'd end up with something different than you would have imagined on your own.
Tom and Ed, fantastic people. This was a new muscle for them. I think they enjoyed it immensely. I don't think they're used to this kind of collaboration. They felt a security with Joe because they knew him.
But they said yes. I said, OK, well, before we start shooting, I need a piece of music for this young lady to do a striptease to in the Hamburg strip club.
Playback.
Got like a hermaphrodite stripper in a kind of fairy tale setting. You know, what would be the music for this? And I was just like, wow, you know, that's like such an amazing twist from how I normally sit down in my studio to start composing music. And I found it such a real trip, you know, a real different thing to suddenly think I'm making music to try and capture this bizarre idea.
This will become a theme tune for these kind of baddies, and so I'd like it to be composed prior to shooting so that Tom and the skinheads can whistle it whilst they work.
Hot!
The devil is in the details, isn't he?
I was so happy when I came up with that melody. It was, you know, it was like a melody that I couldn't stop whistling myself. You know, I love the way it's used in the film by Joe, just like this recurring sort of jaunty theme, but the menace on it, you know, it sort of creeps up every now and again.
Ed and Tom composed this kind of chase theme for me, which ended up as the Container Park Chase music.
Some things, you know, in the film were a very different thing for us to try and capture, but this, you know, we felt we were on home ground there. We can build that kind of, that feeling and that tension and that sort of power, you know, something, you know, when we play live or make those kind of tracks, you know, something that we, you know, we feel that we can do.
The music is very intricate and very layered. Tom's attention to detail is extraordinary, and I think that's why he's actually very well suited to making film scores.
You know, I still wanted to use our sound and our approach to making music, because I thought that, you know, that's what would make it interesting, is that it wouldn't be kind of these films where you hear the same effects and the same sounds and the same ways of moving things along. You know, we wanted to use our way of making music and make that, try and bring across the emotion in a film.
What Joe was interested in was almost a seamlessness between sound and music. So many times I would have to say, is that a sound effect or is that the Chemical Brothers?
The sound effects, if you like, become ordered into rhythm and harmony. So music is formed through the progression of the scenes.
Organised noise is music, you know, that's structured noise. That's, you know, what's the difference between noise and music, you know, is not much.
There's no music for about the first 18 minutes of the film. It's all sound effects, and it's quite quiet, and suddenly music appears, technology appears.
Slowly ideas are introduced, and then you get this crashing in of the synthetic, unnatural kind of world when you get the raid on the cabin.
There are these helicopters flying above the cabin, and so we use the rotor blades of the helicopter as the rhythm section.
You know, our music isn't the be-all and end-all. You know, it's part of a bigger thing, and it's helping, you know, subservient to the image.
Music is spectacular. It was the last surprise of a surprising journey.
It's the first score they've ever done. They've never done a film score before. I hope they do again.
You know, I found it really invigorating, like a different thing, and it was like a thrill to have this sort of a whole different reason for making music.